Okay, so I thought I'd do a follow-up video to my initial quick review of the Filmcity FC-03 shoulder rig. When I first reviewed the system, I highlighted there were a number of flaws or things that were seen as being big issues at the time. Like a lot of things, initially when you see something wrong you think, oh my god, it's catastrophic, but actually when you come to use things you find it's not quite as drastic as it first seemed. I was quite critical of the way the rig didn't fit my full frame SLR with a certain lens, that being the 24-105. Actually in practice I tend to find I don't use that lens very much anyway, but when I do, you're only really restricted if you keep the matte box on the front, and then you're talking a 35-105, so you're only really losing the really wide angle. And if that's going to be a problem on the day, I found just get rid of the matte box and just put a standard lens hood on, and that's the problem solved. So although it seemed quite a major issue at the time, actually you can live with it and it's not really a problem. The couple of other things I had a slight problem with were the base plate. Being a plastic base plate unit, it doesn't grip that well on the bottom of the camera, to be honest. I did find that when you attach it, if you actually put the locking screw nearer the actual main meat of the actual thing itself, I found that was better, but still you tended to find you had a little bit of slip going on, which was a bit annoying really. The main problem with it being when you're using your lens gears, if you went from one extreme to the others quite quickly, such as I'm doing there now, because it's all made of plastic, you tended to find the camera rocked, and when it rocked you had a bit of movement actually on your footage itself. So if I just take the camera off, what we've actually done there now, you'll see it's actually, I've changed that one out for a metal unit. So I've replaced the cheap plastic one with a metal unit, and thus it makes it a lot better because I've got a better full-size metal plate on the bottom. It's actually an unbranded metal plate system. It went on a treat really, to be honest. I managed to keep the chocolate or cheese board block underneath from the original rig, and it's just really the mount on the top which has been replaced with the actual tripod mount really, or the quick release mount. That's made it a lot better, so that when you do move your follow focus quicker, you tend to find it doesn't move at all. That was probably the first thing I changed, to be honest, and that made it a lot more sturdy. I didn't feel like my camera was going to go anywhere, and it generally made the rig feel a bit more better. Another issue I had was the bracket which joined the shoulder rig, or the shoulder mount rather, to the actual rig itself. That being completely plastic, this one here, it just gives you a bit too much flex. It hasn't broken, I've used it quite a bit, but it hasn't broken, it just doesn't inspire you with any confidence. And you know, when you've got your rig on your shoulder and you're running around a bit, you don't want the worry of things just giving way. So what I've actually done, if I just move my back a bit and remove my cables, I've replaced that unit itself with a Z bracket. And if you look at my previous video, you'll see that's the one I've put in the link of the comment. That's the one I actually purchased. It's a lot better. It doesn't move at all now. It's really firmed the rig up, and you know, those two things together, it's transformed the rig really, to be honest. You've got a lot more confidence that it's not going to break, which is always good really. I did purchase a couple of extra rods, little short 60mm rods, which I've attached to the actual arm here, which I've made, as you can see, a temporary holder for my audio unit at the moment. That's a temporary thing really, it's not going to stay like that. It works quite well. When I'm actually using it properly, I put a Velcro strap around it and it isn't going anywhere. You can't really see it. Nobody's ever commented on it before, so it's all good. One of the comments in the previous video was about how do you mount a microphone. Now in the kit itself you get this little bit, they refer to it as a free bracket, and I've just mounted it, as you can see, on the C-rail at the top, and it gives you a number of actual holes to mount things to, one of them being my shock mount for my microphone, which it's perfect, works a treat, keeps it out of the way, doesn't get in the way of the mat box too much. Yeah, it's not been a problem at all. In fact, that works really well. I need to get myself a shorter cable for my mic, but I've got another shorter XLR for a second, so that'll be one of the next things on the list. I've used this mic quite a lot as a boom mic, and for that, hence the reason why I've kept the cable long. That's what it's most been used for. But the rig now goes together really quite nicely with those two extra metal bits. It goes in nice and snug, the gears lock nicely, and it tightens up quite nicely on there just for the tab. And now it isn't moving anywhere, and I can do what I like with the follow focus without a problem at all. So that's my little short rundown of the modifications I've made to my rig. I have looked at trying to sturdy up the mat box, but it's not been that much of a problem, so I haven't really done it. I'll give it a quick zoom around the rig and then we'll be done. Thanks for watching. Just as a side note, one thing I have noticed is that when using most of the lenses anyway, you're better off putting a lens hood, static lens hood on, than you are the foam or plastic hood or whatever it was, the knicker I think they called it. It tends to be a bit fiddly, so it seems to work a lot better, or a lot more quicker for changing lenses if you just use the standard lens hood. Especially with a 50, if you've got a 51.8, you can't use it on there really without a lens hood. About £1 for a lens hood, and then a little bit of Velcro around the focus ring, and it works really well. Oh, one other thing. Initially when I set the rig up, I had the handles as far forward as I could, as pictured on a lot of sites. When you use the thing, it gets too heavy on your hands, so I found that moving the handles further back means the weight is closer to you, means you can hold the camera for a lot longer, and also when you hold it you can just use your follow focus just by rolling your thumb. On the subject of the follow focus, it's still tight as you like. I've had to lubricate the O-ring which is in there to make it a little bit smoother because it went a little bit tight, but apart from that it's been absolutely perfect. One thing with the Z bracket, it's given me enough rise now so that when I put the shoulder rig on I can use my optical viewfinder a lot better. I did make a foam pad, but for the amount of money I spent on that one, which was about £15, it was, you know, it didn't stay on there very long. Lastly, I have put a small piece of foam on the bottom of the weight. It gets a bit annoying when you drop it down and it sounds like it's scratching people's floors or worktops all the time. So a little bit of foam on the bottom of the weight has kind of helped that a bit as well.